How are you? How is everybody? Am I live? Is this live? Okay. All right. Some smartass showed up. How is everybody? I'm trying StreamYard, guys. I'm trying StreamYard. I don't know how it's going to work. I don't know how to get it to work better, but this is it, so I'm here. Hello. Happy Monday. It's been like a week. I see some comments are coming up. Hello. Hello. Let me say hi to some people. You're all here. Ronan and Mark win the early bird award. You win early birds. And then we have Zachary, Phil, Kevin, Brandon, Mike, Mitch, Russell, Kevin, Andrew Jacob, Ronan, Mitch. Again, you are live. I am live. Alexia, Ray, Claire, number one, Jay Stones. How's everybody? Looks blurry to me. Yeah, I'm trying StreamYard, Mitch. I'm trying StreamYard. I don't know how to get people in here. Oh, look at this. Look, I'm learning the studios. This is why we do the test run. See? This is why we do it. This is Do I got music? Do you hear music? Like piano? Wait a second. Okay. All right. I had music going. I don't know what the music was for. So, good evening. That shirt is straight fire. Yes. The night he came home, right here. Every day could be Halloween. Every day. Now, I got your comments here. Can I grab it? Look, I could show this. Look at this. Here we go. We'll show that. Looks blurry to me. I could show. This is awesome. I'm just playing with it. I'm going to be doing that probably here and there. Here and there. You know what? You know what's nice is I'm going to be able to pull up a thing. If I'm going to talk about it, I'll pull it up. I'll set it there. Everybody can look at it and read the thing. Now it sounds much better. Oh, you were able to hear the sound. I'm not upgrading my tech. I just tried StreamYard because here's the thing. Friday, I'm going to be talking with some peeps about some things. So me and some peeps are going to be talking about some stuff. I don't know why I'm being coy. It's Friday. Friday, I'm going to be talking to Mitch about the picture is terrible. Terrible. Is it terrible? I mean, here's the thing. If I want to upgrade this, I have to go to the premium plan. I have to go to premium to get HD. So that's what I have to do. Look, I'm gonna put that comment up. This is hilarious. I'm gonna get a lot of fun out of that. The picture is terrible. Hello, Ron. Ron's here. Good to see you. Good to see you. I remember when it was picture in picture. I know. Don't you remember those days? I bet you I can share my screen somehow. News layout. I could go to a news layout, but I have to set it up. I have to set the studio up. This was just to get, a feeling going, just to get feeling with it. HD shows too much. You know what? I did hit a setting that said flatter me. It was a setting that said paint me like you do those French girls. And I hit that setting, so I got the French girl setting. Speaking of French girls, producer Jill just watched Celine Dion documentary. If you're not bawling like a big baby, then you're obviously not a Celine Dion fan. It's very sad, very lonely. That's the impression I got. Celine Dion is French for I am alone and dying. That's Celine Dion. I am alone and dying. What was new at Earthling? So much. Stephen Wayne Elson Jr. is here. Yes, so much is new at Earthling. You can also do giveaways via hashtags with StreamYard. Look at this. Family, the new Halloween novel. Hey, Mitch, would you care to weigh in on the new Halloween novel, the Halloween series by Ian Rogers called Family? It's $60, brand new release. Just went live today from Earthling. I don't know about it, but this is what we're talking about. We got some. Look at this. Look at it's coming up. I'm watching myself on a little bit of a delay. Love it. It's so much fun. It's too much fun. Mitch read it. I have read Family and can confirm it is V good. V good. I mean, are you really are you really that pressed for time you couldn't type ERY? Oh yeah, this is a Yingling Black and Tan because I couldn't get Rapture Pilsner in the refrigerator in time because I'm doing shit. Yeah, Black and Tan. It's worth all 60 of the dollar bills and more. With the new blurry picture, at least it won't be distracted by and try to read your shelves in the background. Every book on those shelves. Is it that blurry? Yeah, I can see it reproduced on the YouTube. Is a little bit. It's a little. I mean, you can tell we got some Stephen King going on over there. You could see the child alones with strangers, and it really doesn't matter about what's over there because it's the stack I'm going to talk about right here. This stack. That's the one. Glad to hear Mitch ordered it today. I want slipcases for these expensive Earthling Publications books. They're not expensive when you consider what you get at other places. So, for example, you can get a $85 subpress book with no illustrations and no slipcase. So, and it's written by CJ Tudor. I just threw up in my mouth a little bit. So, that's the problem with that. So, $60, a debut novel. The last time I read a debut novel from Earthling, Boys in the Valley. So it's a track record. They do awesome work. And they introduced me to a lot of authors. Josh Malerman, again, Tyler Jones, Sarah Pinborough, Philip Fracassi. Glossing over the major one. Oh, thank you, Russell. Thank you. I like this shirt too. This dude got him a Child Alone Russian edition from the man himself a few minutes ago, Stoke. That is a good segue because I had it fat on the stack. Look at that. We talked about it before. That's Henry. And this is the Russian language edition. Philip had 5 for sale, direct from Alter. And if you want it, you can reach out to Philip directly and he'll hook you up. Obviously, he only has 4 because Mike got one. What can you do? There's really nothing you could do. So there you go. That's that. If Philip shows up tonight, I'm going to yell at him for making me find No One Is Safe. Amazing. Row, the last story was creepy and the best. Well done, collection. Can't wait for Sarafina. Man, you guys are stealing all my thunders. I'm gonna get to Sarafina. Jeff, translate the inside for us. Yeah, see, that's the thing. That's the thing, man. It's unreadable. It's unreadable by yours truly. But you know what? We were talking about the foreign language edition of Gothic, which has that amazing cover. I didn't get it. I didn't spring for it. I'm trying to pump the brakes, man. Because then there's the German Boys in the Valley with that amazing art by Vincent Sammy. Shit. So many foreign language editions. I love it. I do. I can't get them all. I want that Gothic, that Spanish language Gothic. I want that so bad. If you want one too, hit up Mitch and he'll hook you up. I missed last week. Was a very busy week. We sold our house here in Seattle and our offer for a home in Arizona was accepted. We move in a month. Going to be a neighbor to Paul at Thunderstorm. Thunderstorm's on deck too. I got a lot of stuff. Although I didn't prep. I didn't line up all the shizzles, all the stuff that we want to talk about. I didn't line it up. Oh, you know what? I don't know if I could do screen share on this yet. So I didn't learn it yet. So that's cool. That's cool. So congrats on the move, Ron. Out of one. Well, you're out of Seattle now. Had you lived there your whole life, or is this a new move to Arizona? Arizona's brutal, man. Did you move? Where'd you move to Arizona? Phoenix or Tucson? I call it Tucson. I know it's Tucson. And then Prescott is pronounced Prescott, Arizona. It's spelled Prescott, but you got to say Prescott. Prescott and Tucson. Well, then spell it. Then say it the way it's spelled. No One is Safe is so good. I have to reread it as I devoured the stories so quickly. Oh, man, yeah. Well, you'll be on the thing. You'll be on the thing. On the thing. I didn't see the book on Alter. Oh, really? You got to go to the Alter bookstore. I thought he had 5. Are you on Facebook? Find Philip Fracassi on Facebook. He was selling them that way. I would find it if I could, but I'm trying to host a show now. If anybody could help him out and get a link. Good evening, Lance. I think it's hilarious that CD released more titles internationally than they do domestically. It's totally different management. It's hilarious and depressing. We'll be visiting Seattle in a month. I hope the best for you in Arizona. Yeah, me too. Lived in Seattle since 1988. Moving to Scottsdale. Man, that whole area, Scottsdale, Phoenix, Tempe, it's scorched earth, man. It is scorched earth. I don't know anything about the cost of living in Arizona. I do know you're going to get all the days of sunshine you could ever want. And don't mess with the cacti. Some of those cacti are like 150 years old. Leave them alone. But it's a crazy landscape. The red rocks, everything there is alien. It's like Mars. It's a Martian landscape. I was in Arizona a lot. Flagstaff's beautiful. Hey, do me a favor, Ron. In Arizona, go find Bentley Little and slap that bitch. Just like give him a bam. No, don't do that. See, I got to realize I can't run for office because I keep calling for violence. I shouldn't do that. Give Paul Gobblersh a hug over there at Thunderstorm. He sounds like he's going through some stuff. If you've seen his newsletter on Sunday, was kind of sad, man. He sat down and he was a juror in a trial that lasted some months, and he couldn't talk about it, obviously. And I don't think he talked about it in his email, but he said he's seen some things that he's never going to be able to unsee. And this is a guy who has published some of the most extreme horror. And it just goes to show the people in the horror community are all heart. And it was too much for him to watch, to be a juror at this trial. But it's all over. He said he feels like he's good. But, man, I feel bad for him, Feels awful. Hey, Pizza Drev, good to see you. My time machine worked. Well, congrats. I'm glad you didn't get stuck. Found it on Facebook. Thanks. Awesome. Good. I would, but I'm not here to do your job, Jeffrey. And I appreciate, Stephen Dwayne Nelson Jr., you're spelling my full name correctly. Some people spell it Jeffery, and I'm not Jeffrey. Can you show me more of the book? I might get a copy. I will show you as much of the book as I can. It is a thick baby. Thick. Has this title on the spine. It's got the backwards end. Fun thing is when you open it up, it gives you the title page in English and then Russian. Ruski. Kami, if you will. So that, it's cool. So you get to learn how to say or how to spell Philip Fracassi in Russian. But, not illustrated throughout. Just the cover, which is cool. I'm thumbing through because I'm almost positive it's not illustrated throughout, and I was correct. For once, I was correct. So it's a very cool thing to get, and obviously he'll sign it for you, and only if you're a freak. Like this is something you get only if you're a Fracassi freak. You got to be that. You got to be that hardcore to get a Russian language novel, unless you could read it. Flagstaff isn't bad in the summer. There are trees in northern. Oh, Flagstaff's gorgeous. In the summer, it's amazing. But that winter lasts a little longer than other parts. It's an elevation of 7,200 feet. So when I used to fly into Phoenix at Sky Harbor, I would drive to the client up to Flagstaff. It's like 2.5 hour drive. And man, you land in the middle of a scorched earth nuclear testing site. And then you drive up into like this ski lodge resort town. I don't know how many people are skiing. I don't ski, but I was going up to the college, NAU, and I would drive up there. And man, driving that 2.5 hours in that boost in elevation, when you get up to the top, your heart, I think they're called the San Francisco Peaks. My heart started racing, and it takes you a little bit to get acclimated. You have to drink a lot of water up in Flagstaff. Sedona is beautiful. It is. I mean, there's a lot of beautiful places. We'll skip the little bitch slap, but we'll give Paul that hug. Yes, please do. That poor guy, man. I don't know what he's going through, but I thought he was going through divorce too. So I don't know what's all in his bucket of pain. I think calling for violence is pretty normal. Yeah, kind of is. Fiction is different than real life. I know it should be anyway. Yeah, but that sucked. I read some crazy shit, but seeing some of that stuff in real life, I couldn't handle. Right. You could read crazy stuff. That's why that Faces of Death movie was so awful. If you don't remember, it was like late 80s, late 80s. Faces of Death, which is like actual videos of actual death and brutality. And it was like before we had the internet, you had to go to the video store to be sick. But then the internet came along, and then there was a little thing called rotten.com. I don't know if it still exists. I won't go there. Rotten.com. You're welcome. I used to see people's insides on the outside due to work. It made it seem fake, unreal. Yep. I overshare, so I'm going to stop before I say something else. But yes, I prefer people keeps their insides on the inside in my personal life. Yeah, you keep it in there. Unless no, there's no real good reason. I was trying to think of a reason. Perhaps you might want to, but you don't. You might not. I read The New King, 3 stars. Oh, anyone read The New King? 3 stars. That's pretty good. Yeah, they had 3 Faces of Death videos, all VHS tapes. Lol. Oh my God, those were brutal. The dude in the electric chair. How about when they go in to eat the monkey brains? I'm sludging through King's latest COVID novel. You're here. Christopher's here. Thank God. I read The New King as well, 4 stars. People are conflicted. Thomas and Friends and other things. Hello, people. Thomas and Friends. Hello, good to see you. Yeah, I'm not gonna read the new King. Probably, I just don't want to. I don't want to. You know why? Because there's shit like this that exists. Look at this. It's in the bag too. I'm not even gonna take it out. Sarafina. Is there anything finer than Sarafina? Nothing. This is amazing. And seriously, if you're on Facebook, a lot of people are sharing that they've gotten the arcs, and I can't imagine that this is still available. It just doesn't make sense. How? How can this still be available? Oh, the color is all shitty on this video. StreamYard sucks, man. I just did some quality. Oh, you know what? This monitor is a little wonky, so it's probably the monitor. I don't know. But oh my God, if you guys don't have this, there's probably like 5 copies left or 2 or whatever. Because every time somebody posts that they got the arc, I see another person say, "Oh, I just ordered it," or whatever. And maybe they ordered it like a month ago. I don't know. But they're all just sounding off about it, and it makes it feel like those are new copies that are moving. And man, and I just, Paul just announced he added a new piece of art to this book. And I gotta say, it's amazing. This is going to be one of the most illustrated Earthling editions. I think I heard it's going to be one of the most illustrated ones he's ever done. So I don't know why anybody would be sleeping on it. I know all the people who got Boys in the Valley and Gothic probably got theirs, so they're going to have that matching set. But a lot of people, nobody was really paying attention when Boys in the Valley was released. And then Gothic was such a small print run. This is like literally your first chance in a while to get have a shot at an Earthling for Kasi. And I can't imagine passing on it. So, hello, Dave. Good to see you. Everyone likes it more than I did. I actually had to read it twice to get to 3 stars. It was originally only 2 stars. Wow. I gave up King to focus on Jones for Kasi, etc. Yeah, exactly what I was getting at with that one. It's better than Fairy Tale was. Okay, well, that's good. Fairy Tale, if you recall, I gave that 4 stars. And then it's quite similar to you. Mine actually diminished. My star rating diminished. It didn't go up. I think if I read Fairy Tale again, it would be like a 2.5. Anyone going to try the lettered Sarafina? I bet you those are all accounted for. I didn't know, I think that there's a waiting list probably for Boys in the Valley, a waiting list for Gothic, and then there's the same waiting list probably for Sarafina. I didn't know Earthling really did illustrated editions. The only one in my collection I can think of is Dune. They have, he's done illustrated editions. Ghoul in the Cape is illustrated with David Palumbo art. Great stuff. And those are color. Those are color illustrations. The Thicket is illustrated. That's black and white. I can't think of, sorry, I got worms in my eye. Little worms have been like squirting out from the corners of my eye and falling out of my dinner plate. I just eat them because it's like protein. But I can't think of any other Earthling books that are illustrated throughout. Not that I have anyway. But Scarlet Gospels, I don't own it because that book is a disaster. Weave Worlds illustrated. That's awesome. But yeah, they do. My neighbors are setting off fireworks for the holiday of July 7th. Oh, the very rare July 7th holiday when those the news didn't travel so fast back then, and then there were people like me who were slow on the uptake. So and the procrastinators. It's called the Procrastinators Independence Day. So King's book is at the bottom of my to be read book pile. Too many other good books. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Gula's illustrated. That one was lovely. It still is lovely, Andrew. I know what you're saying. Yeah, I have 2 numbered, 1 character edition, and then 1 arc. Love that book. Love Ghoul in the Cape. I submitted my annual email to Paul for the lettered Fracassi. I'm on that list somewhere. Well, Stephen Wayne Elsie Jr., if I was on that list, you're one of the few people I'd be happy losing to. You deserve to get those lettered editions. This ain't bad. This ain't bad for a mass-produced brew. Ain't bad. The best thing about getting family ordered from Paul is that Tyler's book is next. Night of the Long Knives. Amazing book. Love it. Love that book. So I think you should be you all should be getting that book as well. I didn't get Family yet. I'm again, having that buying freeze for so long, I'm not completely thawed, so I can't go out buying a lot. I got to be very judicious and cautious. So it's 2024 for me. I want to read the new King collection just because of the Cujo story. I heard it wasn't that good. I'm reading Ghost Story for the first time. The CP edition makes it even more entertaining. Well, it is a brilliant story. I read it once ages ago. It felt out. I might be wrong, but it felt very similar to Frankenstein, where a bunch of friends have gotten together and they all share a dark secret. But not Frankenstein's different in that regard. But it's like all the friends get together and then they tell that story, and it's sort of like where Lord Byron's house. I don't know exactly, and I realize I probably shouldn't have said any of that. But it felt more like a gothic romance novel. But I read it so long ago. Plus, Fracassi said he really loved it. Yeah, Philip poured it on about our friend King, the book. He poured it on pretty thick, so it makes me want to read it. Stop it. You're making me blush over here. Yeah, no, I think there's a certain group of people that deserve the books. And we all know who those people are. They're the people here, really. Really. You guys are the ones. Another book I am dying to get to, because so many people are raving about this book. And I just got it from VJ Books. That's Incidents Around the House by Josh Malerman. Lots of people are raving about this one. They're like, the man is back. He is, there was a slump there. I think people were bashing on Daphne. They were hating on Spin a Black Yarn. But this is getting a lot of raves from the fan base. And of course, I pre-ordered it ages ago, and it's signed in that inimitable signature. There's no way you could forge Josh Malerman's signature. Signed VJ editions. They wrap it in Mylar when it's a brand new book. So I can't wait to get to this one. I got this one and Oracle sitting there, and Bruises on a Butterfly. All 3 of those are burning. Oh my God, they're just burning holes in my head. Just all sitting, those 3 books. Oh my God. I mean, I want to read Sarafina again too. But I got some time on that. I already read Sarafina once. The hardcover's coming, and Paul Miller added the art. So I might not want to read my arc. I might want to read the hardcover so I get all the art in it. And by the way, everybody, How about this? Well, I'm going to give away a copy of Sarafina, a numbered edition, an actual numbered edition on this channel at some point. Probably, perhaps on my Patreon. I'm going to give it away. A numbered, actual numbered edition of Sarafina on this channel on my Patreon, probably. So I'm going to work out the deets. But yeah. And if you're a Patreon member, the odds are pretty good in your favor. So yeah, they're going to do that. Spent several days breaking down a 7-foot high pile of boxes from publishers and friends here. At the bottom of the pile was seldom seen CD and Dark Regions boxes. Says a lot. Oh, man. So you had a spot, where was it, Christopher, in your garage or something, where you just kept piling them up, and the bottom ones were the ones that were longest to go? That's cool. I like romance horror when done well. That's why I love the Mike Flanagan's Haunting of Bly Manor. I got to see that. I saw Haunting of Hill House. I loved what he did with it. I tell you, man, I got choked up when that last line was read. Like, I just read Haunting of Hill House for the first time, and that line, the line of the book is, and the things that walk there walk alone. Oh my God. And then how Mike Flanagan changed it. That last sentence of the series. Boom. See, that's a fan. He took something beautiful and changed it, but didn't shit all over it. You know, he did it justice. He totally changed it around. You know, the characters were all part of a family. They all, things were totally different than the book. But he had that steel structure of a spine that sort of connected the work to the inspiration, to his miniseries, to the book that inspired it. Yes, Jeff, you need to get to that one quick. His best yet. Talking about this guy, Incidents Around a House. It's a great story. I would say it's in his top 4. Oh, that's awesome. Good book. I just started a horror movie, and I'm really liking the style. Awesome. Horror movies of Paul Tremblay. I think a lot of people are loving that one too, but I've sort of walked away from Paul Tremblay because I have so much else I want to read. I saw a numbered copy of Suntup's The Island of Dr. Moreau went earlier today for $152. Pretty worrying canary in the Suntup value coal mine. I don't think so, Ron. I think there are so many titles that have bottomed out, and he's still selling out. Horror movie I read just before Incidents. I really, really like it. Yeah, Ron, I think, as far as Suntup goes, he cares about selling the books, and that's it. And whatever the secondary does, it does. Now, when that secondary starts to affect the retail moving of the books, then I think he has to consider. But I think only when people are turning off the supply at the source, and they're just like, yeah, there's enough Suntup on my shelves, there's enough Suntup on eBay, then that will be something where he'll have to course correct again. But he doesn't have to now. And I think this quarter is going to be really solid. The first book is the number 1 overall requested title. I myself was a little surprised that was the number 1 most requested title, but it is what it is. And I think that being the case, the demand is there. It's pre-built. And you still haven't read a Nick Roberts book. I know I haven't. Exorcist House, nope. I don't want to be negative on anyone, but I don't think it helps that one of the top Suntup sellers tends to start really low when selling. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff like, yeah. There are just some titles that are just like, I think The Last Unicorn is going to be holding its value. Winterset Hollow seems to be doing pretty well. I thought Charlie would hold its value more. I thought Jaws would as well. But I think there's a number of books that just aren't going to sustain. Garage Basement, let it get out of control. Even had a box from Stephen Dwayne Allison Jr. You got to collect that one. Jeff Flanagan's stuff is amazing. People hated on Blind Manor, but I liked it. But Midnight Mass is his best work. I also loved what he did for Gerald's Game. Jeff is awesome. Great idea and gift. Count me out, though. If I won, it would just end up in another giveaway that you could possibly win, and then we'd become an Ouroboros, which sort of fits. It's a snake eating its tail. You didn't think I knew that. It doesn't help, but it's too bad the market support isn't there to bring it to where one might expect it to be. Halfway through horror movie in one day, quick read. Island was a cheaper number to begin around 365, and I'm not sure how popular that one. People begged for it. Hey, Philip Fricassi's here. He's going to class up the place. We already talked about Sarafina and your Russian child. And I know we got other stuff to talk about. Oh, my God, we got other stuff to talk about. Philip's here. Philip, Roe was the best story I have read in a while. Damn. What's the going rate for the Road and Blood Meridian these days? Is the market holding, or is it all an illusion? The last I saw on Blood Meridian was like $1,200. That's not bottoming out. It's not going to deflate, but it's not like $3,000 yet. And same goes for the Road. I think the last I saw was $1,100 on the Road. Those two will probably hold. Oh, it was that. Don't let them get you down from a giveaway. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Yes. Those are still expensive. Cormac McCarthy. If they were, I mean, unfortunately, they're not signed. Yeah. But, you know, what are you going to do? So we talked about Philip Fricassi. We talked about Sarafina. Philip, do you know how many copies are left? Because I can't believe I was saying that every time somebody shares a picture of the Ark, somebody's like, oh, I just ordered it. Or, you know, they make it seem like copies are still moving, but there were not that many left. Jeff, question that I hope doesn't open a can of worms. Oh, you know what? I'm going to drop it right on the screen. Oh, boy. I'm going to drop. You asked that question. It's going right on the screen. Here we go. I'm waiting. Hit me with that question, man. Uh-oh. Show. What happened to the SunTub post that alluded to the Neil Gaiman controversy? I saw it when it was posted, but a few hours later it was gone. I don't know. I did not take that down. I think Christopher and Tim talked about it a little bit. I think the concern, I don't know. I shouldn't speak, but I will say there are some posts that are taken down because they could light a firestorm of politics. Or I think there was a J.K. Rowling one not long ago that was a big problem. People were talking about, oh, if you could have any book you want, you know, would you want SunTub to do the Harry Potter series? And then everybody came out of the woodwork to talk about what a turf J.K. Rowling was. And then there was the other side that was saying she's just sticking up for women. And then it became this big thing. So politics and things that get more heated and really do invite name calling get shut down faster. And that's mostly in like any group I've seen. I am the Wild West. Unless you are openly abusive to other people or openly scamming other people, I'm not taking anything down. You could have the most asinine opinion. And as long as people don't start to threaten other people or name call, then I leave it alone. So, but, you know, a lot of people just don't want to babysit all these adults. And Neil Gaiman, yes. Neil Gaiman was accused of mistreating 2 women. And the one article I read, I wrote about it in my newsletter. The one article I read, it sure sounds like regret instead of assault. These are 2 women that he had consensual relationships with. And then they later went on to say they hate the, and that's not to say that people in relationships can't do awful things to each other that go over the line and can be criminal. Yeah, I mean, no doubt about it. So not knowing all the details, I can't really speak to it, but I didn't want to know any more of the details. And then there was a speculation with American Gods coming up for Sun Top, whether it's this quarter or some future quarter. There was a discussion about how that might impact sales. And I seriously doubt where the allegations stand. So if it was Bill Cosby allegations, if it was Roman Polanski level allegations, you know, then I would see people walking away. I could see that. Like you're drugging people and you know, that's assault. That's straight up. There's no way about it. And I could see people walking away from Neil Gaiman on that. Now, that's not to say Moore isn't going to come out or what. I haven't seen anything since that one day where there was where it was bubbling up and people were talking about it. So I right now where it stands, but yeah, I mean, it could be a crack in the dam, and then all these other stories flood out, and the guy's cooked, and he's proven to be deserving of whatever consequences, negative consequences he asked for. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think it. I don't know. So, it was taken down. It wasn't taken down by me, but it was discussed. So the Road, I'm going to take this comment down. See, I love that. The Road was selling for over $15.99 for a while. So the market has done a $500 market correction on one of the most, yeah, don't quote me. I thought I saw 1,100, but that's not necessarily, I'm not collectible book vault. You know what I'm saying? I had little opinion on it since nothing has been proven, but I thought it was odd that it went missing. Okay, yeah. All they care about is their beloved Paul and his glorious creations. Are you talking about Francois' post? Yeah. Regarding Sarafina, all I know is Paul said he was down to a couple of dozen about a week ago. My hunch is we're in single digits by now. I know we have to be there. We have to be there. And I think a lot of people are going to really, it's going to be gone. And it's not going to take that much longer. I see that a very limited misery letter it's listed for $30,000. I think that is way high even for that book. I agree. I couldn't imagine spending $30,000 on a book. I couldn't fathom that life. Someone was wondering if the sexual harassment accusations would affect the next Sun. Yeah. August is going to be freaking fantastic for me for Kasi Fest, followed by Foo Fighters. I shouldn't have read that out loud. I should have just posted it up there because it's a lot of F's. I agree. I think people should talk about this. We're grown up and can be respectful. We could, in theory, Andrew, like I said, on my groups, the Jeff Word, SST, I'm one of the admins on Fracassi Freaks, but I don't take anything down unless somebody's like, hey, this person's like a lech. He's a creep. He's a bully. He's awful. Yeah, then I'll get involved, but I won't otherwise. Oh, thanks. I was busy that day, briefly saw it, and was hoping to come back and see dialogue. Yeah. Controversy creates cash. Amen. Oh, no problem, Andrew. I'm glad to talk about it. It's an interesting thing. I think these things, when they happen, it's easy to get sucked in, and your bias is showing, whether you automatically vilify or automatically exonerate. You jump in, it pulls you in because you're like, and there's this thing with in American culture where we liked, well, Neil Gaiman's British, but we like to drag the celebrities down and watch them and shame them and drag them through the streets, and laugh at their downfall, and then build them back up and get this comeback story. Look at Robert Downey Jr. We talked about Rob Lowe. So there are many of those stories that are just sort of very American. I mean, they seem to be American comeback stories. But I purposefully skipped that rabbit hole because there's a certain level of cynicism baked in right now that I'm like, even if I read more, I can't be sure I'm reading information. I can't be sure I'm getting the truth. So you don't want to, and you're like, and you got to weigh it against, what impact am I going to have on this story? Why do I need to know this? This sounds awful. I'm not a Neil Gaiman fan. I have a paperback that I was given of American Gods. Other than that, I have no desire to begin reading Neil Gaiman. I read Neverwhere. I didn't like it. So it's easy for me to avoid. Sorry about that, Steve. I will always be open to discussion. Yes, we should. Foo Fighters. Yeah, it's the primary reason we don't allow selling in Fracassi Freaks. Yeah. Ray Bradbury cheated on his wife, but I still love and respect his work. Nothing changes my opinion of Neil's stuff unless it's actually atrocious behavior. Right. I mean, Ray Bradbury cheated on his wife. That's ugly and that's sad and it's distasteful. But criminal? No. Villainous? No. Like, do you then vilify that person? Because now you're getting into morality, not criminality, Morality is a person by person judgment call if it's that subjective. But that is a shame. I didn't know that about Ray Bradbury. That's kind of a bummer because he seemed like to be Mr. Midwestern nice, a brilliant storyteller. But, I learned a long time ago with Bill Cosby that you shouldn't be surprised anymore. Like he was a saint to me, and then that happened. It's like, wow. And now you can't look at the guy the same way. You're like, wow, you're a slime ball. And it's shocking. That's such a whiplash sort of head spinning perspective. It's hard when you feel like you can't separate art from artist. Yeah. We all have our different personalities. It'd be weird if we were all the same in a hive mind mentality. Yeah, and I can separate art from artist. Unless the artist is Richard Chismar and he keeps putting himself in his book. Author is obviously an art form. And so or writing, being an author is expressing an art form. Yeah. I know him mainly from Sandman comics, which I love. And I got to say, like, I heard these two allegations, but was he cheating on his spouse? Like, I don't know if he was married at the time. I don't know. I mean, it sounds like the more recent incident is with somebody who's like a couple decades his junior. Like, Like she was 23 at the time. I don't know. So, and that's distasteful. But again, should a man be canceled and starved and excommunicated from polite society because of that? No. I mean, based on what I've read, no. It's the same thing as Aziz Ansari, how that woman came for him, and everybody's like, what you're describing is just a bad date, and you can accuse him of being awkward and clumsy and, you know, lame, but you can't accuse him of being a predator because you had a bad date. Lead Belly killed a man. Are you going to stop listening to rock and roll? I think it's worse when the person was a role model for many people, like Bill Cosby. Yeah, that's the thing. That's why it was such a. Yeah. Yep. Morality versus criminality is interesting. I usually don't care, but then again, you'll never see me buying an Orson Scott Card book, but I don't care if others do. It's all preference. Yes, and Orson Scott Card, again, is a non-factor for me. You know, but he's a Mormon, and he's got some fundamentalist views on homosexuality, and I mean, the one article I read about it, I don't want to laugh at that because hate it, whatever. You know, I don't think he's out physically hurting people, but his views are backwards and kind of sad, immature, I would say. He's got the mentality of all the high school boys who are going through, you know, that stage in life where they're all like, you're gay. Like that immature sort of approach, which isn't hateful. It's just sort of like, I don't know what this is, but I don't know what you are. And it's just kind of weird. It's just kind of stunted. Hopefully you mature out of that and you're like, wow, what a weird time of life. Because I don't know if anybody, I went to an all-boy high school, and it's just sort of a weird filter through which all the high school boys seem to run the world, like gay or not gay. It's like, of all the things to worry about, you're probably not starving at home because you've probably not have to worry about your food or your shelter or your clothing if you're worried about that. Like, it seems silly. And that seems to be where Orson Scott Card is stuck. Like, just weird. And some of the ways he tried to redeem himself, he tried to write, apparently, according to this article, he tried to write a lead character, a sympathetic character who was homosexual in one of his books. And it came out really awkward and stupid and weird. So he's got a fixation that's almost like, maybe you have some repressed feelings there, Orson. Maybe you're working through some stuff in the public eye. I don't know, and it's unfortunate. Doesn't seem hate-filled, but I don't see all of it. And, yeah, I don't blame anybody for not wanting to affiliate or sign up or read that stuff. But I do try to separate art from artist, mostly. Not like if Hitler wrote a book, I wouldn't read it. I mean, he did. but if he wrote like horror sci-fi fiction, I'd be like, yeah, I pass. I don't think I want to read anything somebody like that wrote. You know. But yeah. Yeah, didn't see the cause coming, no. Everybody loved JFK, right? He was a philanderer, right? Right. The story I read described both incidents as sexual assault, and it's being actively investigated by the authorities. So not about morality if proven true, which I hope it will not be the case. Well, investigated is, you know, you get an accusation and then you get an investigation. So somebody would be pressing charges. That's fine. Like that's inconclusive on, and in the article I read, the details they shared anyway, it doesn't sound that way to me. But right, let's get an investigation going, let's keep it above board, and let's get to the bottom of it. And if he's a predator, bounce his ass. And if it does turn out that he is a bona fide, if he's tried in an actual court and not just a court of public opinion, and it's proven and more women come out, then then there could be very real repercussions, which would be awful timing for Santa. Andrew, some also put Dan Simmons on that list. He's from my hometown, and several of his books involve actual places I used to run around as a kid. Yeah, I don't know what he did. I do know that somebody was like angry with him. He had some I don't know if he had extreme views. I don't really know. The press loved JFK. That's interesting because Orson Scott Card is local for me. Like Jeff said, I live in Utah and Mormon country, which is why I probably care about it more. I do like seeing the opposite side of the spectrum, though. Sanderson is also Mormon, but has matured in his views. So, yes. And I think the best artists don't reveal themselves in that way. Like they're like I always thought that about actors. And I didn't want to know Nicole Kidman was married to Tom Cruise, because if she was in a movie and she had a love interest in the movie that wasn't Tom Cruise, you watch it and you're like, oh, I wonder what Tom Cruise thinks about her kissing that guy. It kind of like, unless you know about that person, the better. Because then you could be, but of course, a talented actor or actress, well, you don't say actress anymore, you say actor, is somebody who, even though you might know their story, puts you in a whole different story. So, Andrew, are you me? People said that to me because I thought and still think Elton John rocks. I think the only controversy involving him should be about his drug usage. What did Elton John do? I don't know what his I've never heard of a controversy with him. Or that he peed in the bottle in the middle of the store in France the other day because they didn't have a patron bathroom. What? Elton John? What? What am I missing? There's a story here. Peed in a bottle in the middle of a store in France. Isn't that acceptable? Don't they still have chamber pots there? Oh, yeah, Andrew, you got to throw that pocket sand at Mitch. Oh, Mitch. Mitch is upset that someone's getting to be BFFs with Stephen Dwayne House Jr. I didn't read all that because it seemed a little private, and I didn't want to intrude. So it was Elton John that peed in it? Oh, that's kind of, but what else did he do? So I had no idea. Let's be real here. France isn't real, but the French Quarter is. The French Quarter is my favorite place on the planet, and that's where I'd like to have Jeff Con. That's where I would like to have Jeff Con. Oh, speaking of Phil Fracassi, did you pre-order your third rule of time travel? Send a message to the fat cats in the publishing world. We want Philip Fracassi novels. We're here to buy them. And let's get it going. Let's do this. Let's get this Philip Fracassi. Go pre-order that. You'll have a reading copy so that when you get the Fantasia Press edition of Third Rule of Time Travel, you will have that trade edition to read. You could read that one with your Cheeto fingers. Yeah, you got that Cheeto fingers. That's how you do your Cheeto fingers. Oh, pardon me. This black and tan is coming up. Jeff Word pint glass. Get them while they exist. Um, I've been to France. I think maybe they were referencing Elton's sexuality. Well, I know some people still care about that a lot. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, that's funny, I think. Oh, I saw this thing. Oh, it's kind of heartbreaking. I saw this. Apparently, there's like on Instagram and stuff. There's somebody's making Liberace go viral, and keep seeing Liberace clips. And it showed this clip of him walking around his house talking about his house. And he's like, oh, I got a bar here. Oh, here's another room with another bar. And here's a room. And I thought a bar belonged here. It was kind of funny. And he's so opulent. Like the guy had, there was a square inch that didn't sparkle and shimmer, right? He had a chandelier in his bathroom or whatever. Like the guy had like grandiose was everywhere. But then he comes to his bathroom and he's talking about his bathroom. And it's got his and her sinks. You know, that's what they call it. It has a dual sink, right? He goes, hey, so this is my bathroom. And, you know, it's got the two sinks. And some people call them his and her sinks. But since I'm a bachelor, I use both of them. And I'm like, it's so crazy that he would have to have said that. Like he was worried about people knowing that about him. Here's a guy who achieved fame, celebrity, fortune, and he was like, yeah, I got two sinks here, but I use them both because I'm a bachelor. It's just wild to me. And that was like in my lifetime, you know. But I'm old. I'm a very old guy. So his bodyguard reached into a bag and gave him a bottle. He moved to a corner of the store and peed in the bottle in front of his two kids. I don't like that. See, I was like, oh, he's in the corner of the store. Nobody's around. It's discreet. You don't show that to you don't show your kids that sort of behavior. Other than that, I can't think of anything. Well, he's pissing in a bottle in front of his kids. That's kind of pathetic. Although I think I was at a boat launch the other day, and I thought I saw a guy with his door open at his truck pissing in the parking lot. I can't be sure. He could have been pouring out like a thing, but he had kids with him. I'm like, oh, these scumbags. So I actually don't really care for Elton John music. I respect him musically, but Benny and the Jets, Saturday Night's all right for fighting. Candle in the Wind, not my jams. I actually can't think of one Elton John song that I would turn up. Maybe, is it Rocket Man? Maybe Rocket Man. Am I wrong? That'd be it. I don't know. I'm not a fan. Just not. Yeah, I pre-ordered a copy. Congratulations. I have a best friend that was an actual French citizen and grew up there. You ought to threaten him and see how quickly he surrenders. I guess Goodbye Yellow Brick Road has a new meaning now. I love that. That you win, Lance. You know what? We got to put that up. That's awesome. I like that. Jeff, I was referring to all the hate Elton received for revealing, his orientation to the public. Yeah, I mean, why? Why would you care about that? Like, that's somebody's personal business. It's never made any sense to me. Okay, Jay Stone's got to run. Have a great week. You have a great week. Yellow Brick Road. Goodbye, Yellow Brick Road. Honestly, how do you have to stretch your view of reality to think some of these people weren't homosexual? Seriously. That's what Rob Halford said. He said, the lead singer, Judas Priest, which is a sad life. That's another guy. Sad situation. The band asked him to stay in the closet, and the guy was like, his bandmates would be out partying, living the life, and he was back in the hotel room by himself, alone. That's sad. Those are some real repercussions to that lifestyle. But he said every night he'd go out on stage dressed in hardcore S&M gear, and nobody would think. People were like, "Oh yeah, no, that's a real Macho Man." Not even understanding that Macho Man like is a gay anthem. That's funny though. It's hilarious, but also tragic. Like if you read Rob Halford's story, it's like it's sad. I think it's like France where people don't think being gay is real. I thought that was Iran. Iran doesn't think being gay is real. And then he took a picture for the store owner, so I guess it's all okay. Oh, well, you got your fandom going. We'll all feel like shit when Elton passes on in a few months from prostate cancer. Oh, that would be awful. Tiny Dancer. I thought that was Tony Danza. Jeff, please blast Tiny Dancer right now. I cannot. Let me see. Can I? I don't have it on hand, of course. Let me see. Tiny Dancer. Let me get it for you. I'm nothing if I'm not accommodating. Wait a second. 7 years ago, all right, well, let's see. Let's see what this is about. You got to go through the commercial. If I got to go through the commercial, you do. You're going to hear this Allstate commercial. I don't care. Uh-oh, here it is. Wait, Elton John and somebody else in Tiny Dancer. This ain't the real song. Yeah. I got to say, I like Tiny Dancer. The best Elton Live was from Turkey in the early 2000s. Wow. In the amphitheater in Turkey. I don't know if you guys can hear it. I don't know if it's coming through. I can't pull the thing over to it. Would it be odd if State Farm came after you for copyright stuff? Yeah, it would be. Lisa, every time I hear Tiny Dancer, I think of the WKRP Cincinnati episode before Elton John. No idea why. I don't know why either, but I do think of WKRP in Cincinnati. Oh, streaming music. Okay. Yeah, but don't forget you could save 15% or more if you switch to Geico. Oh, I probably shouldn't have read that out loud because now I'm going to have to say this is a sponsored ad or some such bullshit. But I do like Tiny Dancer. Hold me closer, Tony Danza. Or Ted Danson. Who, I don't know what it's about. Mitch, what are you doing over there? Oh, stay away from mayhem. I like that ad. Mayhem like me. I like that. So I stand corrected. Tiny Dancer is a pretty good song. And maybe Rocket Man. But other than that, there's a total mood with Elton John songs that I just don't click with. And we got Jeff to like a song just like that. And you're gonna tell your grandkids about that someday. Remember this one time, this barely functional human being was talking about Elton John, and we got him to like Elton John, and the world became a little bit more accepting in that moment. Just a little, just by degrees, but that's how you win the war. Take every battle, every moment you can to gain ground of the goodness. You want that goodness, the goodness of the biscuit? What is next up from Centipede? God Emperor? Oh, I would share my screen, but this is StreamYard. I can find a song by almost I know. I can find a song by almost anyone that someone will like. How about Venom? What about Venom? That Norwegian, Norway, whatever, I don't know. That Dutch death metal band, Venom. I dare you to find a song by Venom that people will like. Frankenstein or Alice? Yes. Is everyone aware that the Liberty Mutual commercial guy Doug of Limu Emu and Doug fame is Barry Hoffman's son? No, I did not know that. I did not know that. Barry Hoffman's Gauntlet Press. Huh. So no wonder he's got some inroads into entertainment and wow. Huh. Watching this dude on YouTube while I procrastinate cleaning my room. My mom has been yelling at me to clean all night. Well, you know what? She ain't the boss of you. Move out when you're 18, Mitch. Tell her you're going to do it, too. Impossible Challenge, Limp Bizkit. I already gave it. The impossible is Venom. Venom. What else do I have to talk about? We talked about the thunderstorm email. Is Centipede doing a larger run of Frankenstein? You know what? Let me pull it up. I can at least read it to you. I could find it and read it. So Centipede for Frankenstein with the proposed deluxe edition of Mary Shelley and Bernie Wright's Frankenstein, I thought I would go ahead here and clarify the different states. First, there will certainly be a signed trade edition of 750 copies. It's going to be 11 by 15 and a half inches. Wow. It'll be printed on 100-weight Mohawk superfine white with eggshell finish. The trade will include all the Bernie Wrightson illustrations, plus a portfolio of rejected artworks that Bernie Wrightson did, plus a very comprehensive selection of Bernie's other Frankenstein images dating from the late 60s to the mid-70s, including a reprint in color of the famous Vaughn Bodie Bernie Wrightson collaboration, The Monsters Thing. There's also an essay by Lily Hochvander and an afterword by Bernie Wrightson, as well as the original Stephen King introduction. Uh-oh, we got that Stephen King name thrown around there. The deluxe edition would also have all of this, but also include a suite of Bernie Wrightson's finished illustrations printed larger than what appear in the book in their own hard case folder. The Frankenstein novel would be the same run of press as the Mohawk Superfine edition, but this edition would be printed on mold-made Somerset book, complete with deckled edges. The binding will be full leather, so you could slap it, but would have the same illustrated end papers as the trade edition. Neither edition be printed letterpress. That's how he wrote it. Neither edition be printed letterpress. So Jared is devolving into pirate speak. Neither edition be printed letterpress. See, with all the artwork in there, offset is the way to go. So the extra costs would go toward the paper, the leather binding, and the oversized prints in their own folder, and the clamshell that holds it all together. We will, of course, try to include some other bonus items, tipped in metal plate for the clamshell, but I don't believe in extra content like different artwork, more essays, whatever, that is included only in the more expensive edition. Both states will have the same content. It's so funny what he calls a trade edition. That's far from a trade. I would love to get it. Venom, Don't Burn the Witch is pretty hot. I don't have that one. The only album I have that's sitting around is Possessed. And it's on vinyl, and I can't find it anywhere. And we just bought a record player. So I was going to scar the children. Ron, I think that makes me like them less. Ask the boy for some of that Limu cash to make better books. Yes. For Costy, that'd be neat, but out of my budget, I want a CP edition of Frankenstein. Well, he's going to do the 750, but I bet you that's going to be expensive. Jared was also thinking about a smaller leather edition. I don't have any nice copies of Frankenstein. Gerald's going all out on Frankenstein. I know. Oh, man. Jeff is making me drool over something I can't afford. I know. And you know what? I'm the first affected. Like, I feel that as I read it. Like, I would love to get it. But, you know, what are you going to do? He did a bunch of low stock alerts, and then God Emperor of Dune, the fourth Dune book, God Emperor will be on press in mid to late July and at the bindery by September with a completion date of around October. And I think that's why Jason Geis isn't here at these lives anymore, because he's out working 3 more jobs so he can afford to be a Centipede Press subscriber. I got a Victrola from Walmart. It's very inexpensive, but it's cool. You can stream to Bluetooth speakers, although that functionality doesn't go that well. But it's cool. I really dig it. We've inherited like hundreds of vinyl, right? We've hundreds of records from Jill's dad, Jill's parents, like really crazy stuff. A lot of great stuff. You got Dean Martin. You got a lot of folk music. A lot of really like Marty Robbins stuff, Johnny Cash, a lot of great stuff. And it's just been sitting in a storage container and with no, so I went and I bought an inexpensive, it's a Victrola, $35, marked down from 50. You know, that's what we got to be today. These books are expensive, you know, but I want to get better speakers for it because, again, it's pretty limited. I was playing my Alice Cooper, $1 Billion Babies. We were playing Louis Armstrong Sunday. It was awesome. It was really cool. It was fun to get those records out. And with all the albums that we inherited, it's going to just be, it'll be a fun couple of, you know, every so often we'll get out the records and we'll ask the kids if they want to listen to some things, and it'll be cool. It'll be cool to get, you know, some Frank Sinatra going, Dean Martin. We have the Jaws soundtrack. Jill was listening to her Strawberry Shortcake Story Time album that she used to listen to a long time ago. Barry at Gauntlet would always hold back content for the more expensive. Yes, he would. The 6-in-1 or the 5-in-1? I don't know what that. It's just it's a little portable. It's a Victrola Premier Cruiser. It's just a really small, it's like a suitcase. So, you know, he should do a Frau Blucher edition for fans of Young Frankenstein. Yes. Young Frankenstein. We watched that recently, and oh my God, the humor used to be so much goofier back then. So cartoonish, immature. But that would be awesome. Frau Blucher. That was Terry Garr, right? I heard a horse whinny when I read that. That's funny, Mark. Oh, I like that. It's funny. Abby Normal. Young Frankenstein is so good. Werewolf, their-wolf. Makes me wheeze. Oh, yeah, that's some funny stuff, man. Funny stuff. I almost said Bette Midler, but it's not her. Who's the, oh my God, I'm blanking on her name. She was the wife of Young Frankenstein. Frankenstein, whatever. No, Tasty was Cloris Leachman, yeah. Cloris Leachman was Frau. You're right. Right. Yes. Oh my God. Oh, but who was the singer? She was a singer. I know her name. It's on the tip of my tongue, and you'll see. You can understand why I get her confused with Bette Midler. She had that same sort of very theatrical. She was a singer. Oh my God. I want to remember her name myself. Our neighbor near us has a horse that makes that noise, and I think of the movie every time. Madeline Kahn, that's it. Son of a bitch. How could I forget that? Madeline Kahn, yeah. Oh my God, that's so funny. Also liked Haunted Honeymoon. I don't remember that one that much. Madeline was singer, yeah. Yeah. Oh man, that's funny. We just got power at my house. Oh, Jesse, good. Here's to the power at your house, Jesse. I took the whole stream down just to toast you. I've been struggling all day. I don't know where you're located, Jesse. You probably said it before, but my memory is goldfish length. And I'm glad you are here and you got your power back. Goddamn hurricane. But now would be a bad time to be without power. What with all the heat and what have yous. Goddamn hurricane. I like a good hurricane, but only if it's in my glass. So you're probably in Florida? Where are you? Where you at? You in Florida? Florida's a state. It's a state, all right. With a lot of hurricanes. All right, friends, got to go now. Brother is calling me. It was fun talking to you. Take it easy, Andrew. Thank you for being here. I'm probably going to get cutting as well. We talked about ordering Sarafina. Houston. Oh, yeah, that's some bad news there. Stay safe, Jesse. Talked about getting your order in on Sarafina. Also, pre-ordering Third Rule of Time Travel. And the VJ. Oh, yes. So tell me, what kind of a sicko, what kind of a weirdo has all these books but never read the author? And all of these are signed. These are all signed. Why do I have all of these? Like, you know, I had this from a long time ago. This came in the Nocturnal Readers box, subscription box. And they used to have where they were signed at random, and I randomly got a signed copy of Mapping the Interior, and it had been on the top of my TBR for a long time. But then, you know, other more familiar authors to me come along, and it just kept moving down, and I never got to read it. And then everybody was talking about Stephen Graham Jones, and SST did some. And then, yeah, I just got The Angel of Indian Lake from VJ Books. I think I told you that story. They did an interesting thing with this one, though. Most of the VJ signature sheets are blank sheets. Do I have one? Yes, I do. I have one right here. So there'd be a VJ signature sheet that looks like this. And it's a pretty standard. It's just a line. And it says, this book is signed by the author. And then the author signs it. They tip the sheet in, and everybody's happy. But for Angel of Indian Lake from VJ Books, they did it a little different. They reprinted the title page. And I think that's awesome. But I thought for a minute that Stephen Graham Jones went in and signed this book. So, you know, it has that feel of that. But it said this signed edition of The Angel of Indian Lake has been specially bound by the publisher. So, maybe, okay. So the publisher did it. Oh. And then they sold them at VJ. I don't know. That just seemed pretty cool. So, but I feel stupid because I have 2 signed first edition books of parts 2 and 3 in a trilogy from an author I've never read. It's just a weird spot to be in. So I need My Heart as a Chainsaw, but I need it signed first edition. And then I need to read them to see if I'm even a Stephen Graham Jones fan, which is TBD. But, it's the same with Grady Hendrix. I got a stack of Grady Hendrix signed first editions, and I've never read them. I'll probably have to pay thousands in damage. So might have to. You have insurance, Jesse? Oh my God, are you okay? Oh man, I thought you said your power's down. That's like, oh, you just have power outage. It's no big deal. I mean, it is a big deal in the summer, but thousands in damage. Oh my God. I'm so sorry to hear that, but at least we're okay. I mean, that's good. Health, you have everything, but I'm so sorry to hear that. Oh man. Well, I'm glad you're okay. Brutal. I hope it doesn't come to you selling books. I hope things work out. Keep us informed. On the socials, on the Facebooks and such. Damn. Were those from old CD grab bags? No, they were purchased intentionally. That's why I said I feel a little silly. I bought Don't Fear the Reaper from Barnes and Noble. I actually got those two other SST ones as housewarming gifts from Paul. So, you get those, and those are cherished gifts. They don't go anywhere, So let's say I read Stephen Graham Jones and I don't like him. Those books are still not going anywhere because they were gifted to me from Paul Fry at Suntup or SST. So many Pauls, and they mean a lot to me. So, yeah. No, so none of them were from grab bags. I don't do grab bags anymore, but that's how, doubles occur. Sorry, Jesse, we're in Austin. It was the first time I recall wearing a sweatshirt in July. Damn. Dinner bell calls. Night all, and see you next week. Take it easy, Ron. Yeah, that's how Barnes had those signed Angels. He signed like 5,000 of those. Yeah, that's probably not exclusive at all. This one was scary because of the high winds. We had 80-mile-per-hour winds. Damn. Sell the Grady books. Well, I'm going to read one first. Mike, you mean the same ones I'm selling that haven't moved at $500 for the set? Jesse, my dude, sorry. Yeah, I hate to hear that. Hope it all works out, Jesse. I'll be okay. That's what insurance is for. Just never had to make a claim in my life, so I have to read up on it. Yeah, that's the scary thing. You don't need insurance most of the time, and when you do, you're so vulnerable that you just sort of throw yourself at it. Do your homework. Make sure, Jesse, I've been through this with an insurance claim. Call your agent, get your adjuster out there, but keep them in check. In fact, you might want to there's actually private adjusters you can hire, and they are objective. They don't work for the insurance company, so therefore they are independent, and they will tell you real values and real costs of rebuilding. Whereas the adjuster that the insurance company sends you is often wants to make it happen for the insurance company in a very cost-effective way for them. So the people we hired were maniacs. I actually had to go to war with my insurance company and the restoration, the mitigation firm they hired to put our house back together. I had to actually go to war. We had to hire a lawyer. I had to blast them all over social media to the point where they were like basically negotiating with us because they wanted me to take down all the stuff I was putting out there. It's no bullshit. Google reviews and stuff like that. If you're not getting heard, that's a place to go. It's you have to do it. So anyway, get an independent contractor, somebody that you hired. Don't let your insurance adjuster talk you into shit. And it's hard because you're in a vulnerable spot and you need to get your house back together. And they're promising you it'll be quick, painless. They'll put you up in a hotel. They'll pay for the room and your expenses. And it sounds like it all depends on what your policy is. But they make it sound as painless as possible, but they're bastards, man. So be very careful. So I hope it works out for you. Sold 4 of them. Grady's actually didn't ever get the 5th one. Just looked at 6 books. Wow, for $500. Grady is great, but I sold all my SST Grady's. No one wants my Earthling Dune. Oh, and you're selling it at basic retail price. Hey, kids, got to run. Dinner on the table. Take it easy, Philip. We'll talk to you soon. Got a lot of stuff going on for you. It's going to be a great month, Philip. Yeah, your Earthling Dune. It's a hard market to be selling stuff in right now. It's a buyer's market. Hold on to what you have is my advice. Dune is like a textbook. I don't want to go back to school. All right, Loki has to go out. My dog is barking. Take it easy, Philip. Take it easy, Stephen Winehouse Jr. And take it easy, all you all. Good night. I'm going to end the stream. StreamYard, you had your shot. You kind of bit the big one. And we're going to have to take it from there as a little lesson. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Take it easy, and I'll see you all next week. Ciao.